and we don't second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud. Shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking the truth. At Oreo Express, this one's for you. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll, let's go. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express.
Celebrate our newest launch, Rev 7. I'm bringing you an amazing introductory offer, plus an exclusive overstock sale that you're not going to want to miss. Rev 7 is our premium energy drink that tastes great and gives you energy all day with no jitters and no crashes. That's because there's no sugar and no caffeine. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7 that for a limited time you can try our 3-pack absolutely free. Or check out our Percale bed sheets. I can't believe I'm even going to say this. Every color, every style, every size, only $29.88. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% on our Rev 7 12-packs or try our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. And our Percale bed sheets, all sizes, only $29.88, even the queens and kings. Inventory is extremely limited, so order now.
That's right, folks. Order now. Get it while it's good. If you use promo code Oreo, you will get free shipping and guess what? Up to 50% off. So head over to mypillow.com. Check out all the great things they have. And it's an honor to be associated with them. And so it also helps us out here at the Oreo Express. Good morning, good afternoon to some of you. I know it's morning here in the left coast. It's another, I'm looking out the window right now. It's another hazy day out here, guys. We did get that one day of some sun. That's the day I did the breaks. What was that, Wednesday? But we made it to Friday, December 19th. And you know what that means? 6 more days. 6 more days, guys. Christmas. So I hope you're all got some plans with the family, having a blessed weekend. And I don't know what we all got planned for this weekend. I'm sure we'll find something for you all. Or we'll just take the weekend off. How about that? That would be incredible. I don't think we've done that in a while. So Trump is going to do an address. It said 1 o'clock Eastern. Let me see. I got this over here. I got some show. I didn't do a full show because I knew that if Trump was going, he would probably take questions from the press. So we're waiting for that to go live. Let me see what else is going on. Before I do that, let me jump over here. Trina, hello. Carol Burton, Jay Lynn, Kimber, Texas Bigfoot, Old Uncle Bill, Trina. Let's see. Nola's in the house. Pixie, Becky Boo. Yes, there is still time for more raffle entries. Thanks for asking, Old Uncle Bill. We are going to be raffling this off today in just a few hours live on our show. Beautiful handmade cross here. See if you can see it all. There you go. Beautiful handmade cross here from our good friend Miguelito. So we're going to be doing that. And if you guys want to get in, every $10 donation gets you 1 entry. If you do $30, that's 3 entries. The links, some of the links are on the bottom. Venmo at Oreo Josh. We got PayPal at Oreo Josh. Then we go to Cash App, $ Oreo Army. The GiveSendGo link on the bottom. And then, as always, we have a Zelle link, which is purepatriot559 at yahoo.com. So let me see. Rob Wallace is in the house. Deb V. Kaylee, how are you doing, Kaylee? Sugar Bear. Thank you guys for coming in. If you guys could, hit that like and share button. Let me see. Let's see. Just checking, making sure that I'm not going to have it on the
Build
wrong
a website
feed
you
here.
love with Wix. For your words,
Nope. AP is still outside. I'm going to keep this one on in the background, and then we'll go to White House. So we might miss like good morning or something like that, but we'll have the whole thing played for you. All right, let's get into some of the stuff. I want to kind of move a little fast because I don't know how long Trump is going to be speaking. It could be a while, you know that. So the left is absolutely losing their mind over the $1,776 given to over 1,450,000 servicemen and women. And they're coming out online. The left is saying these guys are morons for celebrating this check. I mean, it's not hard when Trump says if Trump said Fauci was great today, the left would just attack their hero, Fauci. This one says, thank you, Daddy Trump. Sailors are thanking President Trump after receiving their warrior dividend checks before Christmas. And there's just some videos that these folks have posted. I think we got a couple of them here.
You see that right there? Thank you, Daddy Trump. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, I told y'all. $1,776 is a big deal to most Americans, right? Anytime, but right now, especially if you're a serviceman or servicewoman, something that wasn't expected. I mean, talk about kicking off the new year right, getting some bills. Maybe you got some credit cards that you want to get paid down a little. Yeah, it doesn't buy you a Rolls Royce. It not gonna buy you some of the crazy things the left wants. But what an awesome timeline that I am seeing when I see this stuff on.
Say, God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine. I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops.
You know, I think a lot of times we know under Biden that the morale at the inside the service, people did not want to enlist. That changed the day Trump was elected. We have record enlistment numbers now. And what's really interesting is anything to help out that morale, anything to give you a little boost, make you feel appreciated, right? How many times you don't feel appreciated? I think that comes from all of us when we do something or we're working for somebody. And man, a little appreciation goes a long way, folks. A little appreciation goes a long way. So that was pretty awesome. We know Trump's going to do a presser here in any moment. I'm looking at the camera right now. It is still on the outside of the White House. Let me check this. Let me see if this one's going. No, White House stream isn't up yet. We talk about the difference. You know, these people, they literally try to say Trump doesn't work. Trump's never working. They even say he's always on vacation. There he goes, going home tomorrow, Lago again. Even Caitlin Collins, and we played another interview with Caitlin Collins. She was on a podcast talking about how hard it is to cover the Trump White House because you never know when something's going to happen. Listen to what she said. I think she was on one of the late night. I don't even know the late night guys, but you'll see who it is. And listen to what she says here.
So you're doing this every day. You're in D.C.
Yes.
The pace of the Trump administration seems to be moving pretty quickly. How are you holding up?
It is insane. And I think everyone is kind of like and re-remembering what it was like 4 years ago, 4 years ago. I remember when Biden first took office in January the New York Times wrote the story about how quiet the weekends were, because for reporters, every weekend had just been like it was like a 7-day work week. And now we're back to that, basically, where it's just essentially nonstop every day. You kind of wake up like not knowing what you're going to be doing, what the schedule is. I was walking to get breakfast one day this week. I was like, okay, I'm going to have a nice little breakfast before I go to work. And halfway there, they're like, Trump's doing a press conference in an hour. And I physically ran back home so I could change and get ready.
Now that seems like a guy I want working for me, right? And if you talk to his staff, and we know this, it's just absolutely incredible that the man, he's not doing well. He's unhealthy. I actually got a video. I should pull it up. Let me pull this video up. I actually looked into this, but CNN of all places had a doctor on that was concerned about Trump after watching his address to the nation. Let me see if I pop it up quickly. If not, we'll move on. We're still got time over here, it looks like. Let's see. I didn't put it in the show because let's see. Man, I have a lot of bookmark stuff. They brought a guy in with a lab coat on, so he must know a whole lot. Let's see. If I could spell right, I'd be okay. It's Friday. That's not going to come up. Anyways, this guy was this CNN. Let me see if I can put Dr. Trump. It was just interesting because I did listen to it. And here we go. Take a look. This is
President
hilarious.
Dick Cheney's cardiologist for years was among the many observers alarmed by what he saw from President Dr. Jonathan Reiner, who served as the late Vice President Dick Cheney's cardiologist for years, was among the many observers alarmed by what he saw from President Trump last night, his behavior. He posted on X, quote, "I'm seriously concerned about the health of the president," and adding, "No one should be happy to see the president like this. He looks unwell." And Dr. Reiner joins us now. He's a professor of medicine and surgery at George Washington University and a CNN medical analyst. Dr. Reiner, what specifically was it about President Trump that you found so concerning watching him last night, especially in the context of, he gives outrageous speeches and has been for years?
Well, it wasn't the content. I thought the content was just standard fare that we've become accustomed to, but it was the way it was delivered. It was delivered in with a manic cadence, almost a frantic cadence. It was as if you felt like you were listening to a podcast on 2X. And
remember, I said the man didn't even take a breath. He is fired up. That's what I want out of my president. I want some fire. They're so used to Biden saying 6 words a minute that they don't know what to do. Take a listen.
That kind of manic delivery was very, very disturbing, very pressurized speech. And as the address went on, the cadence of his remarks became quicker. And we've never seen the president, like that. He seemed almost frantic, and it was disturbing to watch. It was disturbing because he's the commander in chief. He's not just the head of the government. He's the
I can't believe these people.
The greatest armed forces this world has ever seen. And
so I won't play the whole thing and bore you with it. But what was interesting is Jake Tapper, who covered up from Biden and then tried to grift off Biden's mental and physical decline. They would. I don't see anything wrong with Biden. He's sharp as a tack. What do you mean he got lost at the Easter egg hunt? That's normal, right? But another thing is I used AI to go back and search articles to save some time about Dr. Reiner. And so I asked what his stance was during COVID. He was pro-mask. He was one of the people going against the Trump administration, forcing vaccines on children. He was for all the tyranny you wanted. And I was like, that explains it. This guy is just an absolute Trump hater. CNN puts him on there. I do feel, I do think you could take away from what Trump said and how he said it that day. There was a sense of urgency, folks. We don't have long to fix this country. He said it just, what was it, 2-3 weeks ago, that we were at a tipping point. I've said that for a long time. This country could go to one way or another. We're not going to go the way the UK or Venezuela did. That's what Democrats are pushing for. And so I was just... I heard urgency. I told you that was when I told Rachel. Rachel goes, how? Because she was with Caden at his Christmas performance practice. And she goes, how'd Trump's speech go? And I say, you know what? Man, he didn't take a breath. He was on fire. Now, they're trying to twist that as, oh my God, he's manic. He's this. You know what's amazing is, and we'll see it again today, every day he's fighting for the American people. Every day he wants to bring back the American dream to our children and our grandchildren. It's the main reason I do this, guys. I'm telling you right now, I think about that daily. When I think about my daughter, my son and my older daughter, both adults, and I think about their, how they're trying to fight through the monotony, trying to get through, get a career going. And we talk about housing prices all the time. We talk about housing prices all the time. And we had Rep. Mark Kelly, open borders cartel lover, Mark Kelly, the seditious one. And he was saying that his daughter, I mean, these are 6-figure salaries. His daughter and his son-in-law, what was a nuclear scientist, and can't remember what his daughter was, not an engineer, but anyways, very, very good jobs. Oh yeah, it's going to be tough for them to buy a job. At $350,000 a year, it's not hard for you to buy a house. Just laying that out there. It's not as easy as it once was. It'll cost you more. But there's actually people out there that are struggling, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, where they should be able to invest. The house is the one biggest investment a homeowner will make, and it will secure their retirement at points. If you buy a house at, let's just say 30 years old, and you do a 30-year mortgage, your house is paid off by the time you retire. You got time to do some odds and ends. I'm just using these numbers. You have times to do some odds and ends before you retire. So when you retire, you got your retirement and you're set. That's in a perfect world. Also, a lot of people use their house as an investment. You know how many people pull out second on their mortgage so they can start their dream business and become rich? Yeah, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. Speaking of what they never talked about either, how about you remember this? Talking about affordability and housing and everything else. Overall inflation up 20.1%, home prices 35%, mortgage rates 148, gas prices 46, and food prices 21.5. Democrats never once mentioned affordability. Never once. They didn't care that we were doing stories on during Biden's last term. And we told you it wasn't going to be fixed overnight. But on Biden's last term, when school started, where parents were deciding to feed their kids or buy backpacks and back to school supplies, that was kind of the norm for many Americans that were struggling with overall inflation at 20%. But now they're taking these numbers and they're saying, see what Trump did to the economy? You can't make it up. You can't make it up. Let's see. Just checking to see if Trump's, so they're still on the outside. And again, it's Trump is making an announcement. I didn't even look at what the announcement was for. Let me see if it shows what it has to do with. Gosh, I'm having a hard time spelling today. to announce price cuts on prescription drugs. Another one. That's great. 1 p.m. Oh, it'll be in the Roosevelt Room. Okay, cool. So that's what we're waiting for. We'll cover that. But in the meantime, let's move on. We talk a lot about California. We talk a lot about how Gavin Newsom would like to think and want Americans to believe that California is leading the nation. We are. We're leading the nation in taxes, high taxes, gas prices, high gas prices, and pretty soon to be much higher. We've been covering this for a long time. I want you to listen to this Fox Business segment.
And
really
now,
quick. Take
in
a
2026, we are set to see another refinery close.
California has had the most expensive gasoline in the country. And now lawmakers are warning that prices could go even higher very soon. Congratulations. Not Max Gordon, Gavin Newsom. Live. Max is outside a closed Phillips refinery in Cali. Hey, Max.
Hey there, Dagan. Well, this refinery shut down back in October, and when it was operating, it accounted for a little more than 8% of the state's refining capacity. And now, in 2026, we are set to see another refinery close in California. This next one is going to be closing down in April in Benicia, California. It's owned by Valero, and that refinery accounts for just under 9% of the state's refining capacity. Republican lawmakers say overregulation of California's oil and gas industry is all to blame.
It doesn't just affect California. Arizona and Nevada also get their gasoline from our state. So you've seen their governors, bipartisan, expressing serious concerns over the crippling of the energy infrastructure in our state.
Here's where California is currently standing as far as gas prices are concerned.
A little nerve-wracking, man. It's kind of interesting. I've told you guys, we've been dealing with these gas prices. It sucks to go out of town. Rachel is, we are almost to about a half a car right now with the Edge. It needs quite a bit of work. And it has a lot of miles on it. So, it's at that point where do you reinvest in a car that's not crap? And we've been looking around just at used cars, and trying to do some things and doing the homework. And I said, I would love a Tesla for the family car we don't drive a whole lot. I'm the driver of the household. I mean, really, we, drop Caden off at school. Rachel works about 4 days a week in the morning. That's where the mileage comes from. And so she's going to try to work a little more, try to work around my schedule to save up for a down payment on a car. So I was looking online, and I love some of the Teslas. I like the basic Model 3. I don't like all of them. And so we were just looking the other day, and I was trying to figure out, how, if they're affordable and efficient, and everything. So I started looking, compared to maybe a Camry or an Accord. I've had an Accord before. And so we were going through that, and I was looking, and the one thing that, kind of just irks me is because Teslas are kind of specialized. They say the average insurance, your monthly premium for insurance is about 26 to 30% more. And in California, we already have extremely high insurance prices, even if you have, a substantially good driving record. Like for me, my driving record right now is clean. But even if I was to buy a 6-year-old Honda Accord and put it, Rachel has a perfect driving record, and put it under our names, it's still like $200, $212 a month when I was looking online. You can get a little lower to like $179 if you go this generic insurance that if something happens, you're going to spend more money and time to try to get your money out of them. But I don't know what people are going to do, guys, here in California. I don't. $8 a gallon gas. $8 a gallon gas. And I was thinking about this. I don't know if Trump has the authority to save California. What I mean by that, what if Trump, I know we don't, this is a word that the left likes to use, nationalizes those refineries, come in and take over those refineries. Nobody's there, works with the previous owners of those refineries so that they could refine oil for California somehow, or give some incentive to somebody to come into California. Because if you're a struggling mom right now and you're paying, I mean, we've got great price. I know people are crazy. Like I told you guys, I paid $3.59 a gallon. Like, I don't remember the last time. Thank you, Trump. I mean, I know some of y'all paying $1.99. I'm envious. I'm a little jealous. Even you folks paying $2.35, $2.55. Like, holy cow. When I started driving, gas was like 89 cents a gallon at the Arco. I used to fill up. I had a Mitsubishi Mighty Max. I used to fill up for under 15 bucks. And I'm not that old. I'm only 47, folks. But we need some type of savior here. Karen said, Salina, Kansas, $2.39 for fuel. Oh, man. And I would love that. I would love that. Let me double check over here really quick, see if Trump feed is live. Nope, not yet. I told you guys, knew this would happen. That's why I prepped the show. How about this? We covered the murder of Rob Weiner and his wife. Allegedly, the killer is Rob's son, Nick. And now TMZ is coming out with some information that he will plead not guilty due to insanity. Reason being, they say Nick was just diagnosed with schizophrenia in the weeks leading up to the brutal slaying of his parents. And now they're going to say that medicine, which we always tell you, I don't disagree that this happened, this made him erratic and dangerous as he was not acting on his own will. It was because of the medicine. Take a listen to this. This is just a little video right here that shows you that got released of Nick walking down the street. But TMZ did an entire breakdown of, and that might explain. I mean, you have, guys, don't do drugs. Try to get nobody you know to do drugs. Because the reason why I'm saying that is it has long-term effects. You can have if you've partied a little too hard, you could stop partying, you could become sober in 10 years, still have side effects. And then mixed with other drugs. It says, our sources say 3 to 4 weeks before the murders, doctor changed his meds and he became even more erratic. Our sources say doctors were trying to adjust the medication so Nick stabilized, but it wasn't working. Again, the answers always aren't in the form of big pharma. Actually, I think they're very seldomly are. It's why they cover up a lot of the medical reports from the school shooters, the trans school shooters. It's because many of them are on SRIs and other type of big pharma medicines that really destroy somebody. What else do we got? Check this out. Two of them. There's a murder you didn't hear about. And it's kind of interesting. The reason why you didn't hear about it is because of who the suspect is or what the suspect looks like. But the school, the children at the school actually went out and protested against their school district. Why? Because they say this child, the child that got murdered would be alive today if the school didn't allow people that are just total disruptions in the school, people that have no place being there. We talk about it. There's people that don't belong in society, right? And when I say that, that means all the people they just continue let out of jail and then they end up murdering someone, and you knew they were just not functioning members that could handle society. Take a listen to this.
been a heartbreaking day watching students from Sterling High School stand out here for hours protesting against their school district and the school district leaders. They say in their minds Andrew Meismer did not have to die, but now that he is dead, he deserves justice.
Justice for Andrew! Justice for Andrew!
A constant stream of students stood in front of Sterling High School all day, demanding justice for their friend and classmate, Andrew Meismer.
He was a great guy. He didn't deserve this. And the school district is out here. They're not separating these kids that clearly aren't like fit to be in a normal classroom environment and are a danger to other students.
Multiple students say Meismer was stabbed on Wednesday in science class after he got in a fight with the other student. But they also say the stabbing suspect has a long disciplinary history at school.
A few teachers were complaining about the student beforehand about all the assault charges and knives that he brought on campus, but nothing was ever done about it.
The students told us that despite repeated offenses, the 18-year-old suspected of stabbing Meismer was always allowed to return to school.
My main problem with them is that, it's just business as usual, even though a child is dead. Somebody's child died on their property, and it's like, come take your finals and go to school.
Justice for Andrew!
Students say Andrew Meismer and his family deserve so much more transparency.
I think that it was crazy. I don't think that should ever happen to anybody, no matter what they have done.
The students say they will be back here tomorrow morning once again to protest until their voices are heard. We should note we have repeatedly asked the school district to speak publicly about this because clearly the kids want to hear something. And so far, we have been met with silence.
Silence. Well, you notice you didn't see a picture of the suspect. They didn't even talk about the suspect. I'm pretty sure you know why. Media in America. So just to let you know, this is the suspect here right next to the victim, unfortunately. And he has been arrested now. Andre Matthews has been charged with murder in Texas after he reportedly stabbed 16-year-old Andrew Meismer to death at school. Multiple students have reported that Matthews had a long disciplinary history at the school, which included prior violent altercations. And it says you haven't seen any of this on CNN or MSNBC because it doesn't fit the narrative. We actually have a court case going on right now, right, where another student at a track meet, and same thing kind of happened. If it wasn't for independent journalists, you and me out here sharing these stories, we wouldn't know what was going on. But violent attacks against white students, you could say that, covering up the fact that the perpetrator is not white. I mean, we go through this all the time. It's not about race. Again, one person doing something does not represent a whole race, but it does expose legacy media in the way that they do things. I pray for Andrew's family. And the reason why I want to talk about this story is this is something we've talked about for a long time in public schools, especially here in California. We have restorative justice. They make it almost impossible to suspend students, to remove students from schools. They move them around. You guys have even seen, what was it? I can't remember the county, Loudoun County, right? Where sexual assault moved to another school, then rapes a child, instead of saying, our kids are here to learn. This monster that's sexually assaulting people have no place in our functioning school system. But that's not how we do things now. That's not how we do things now, unfortunately. So I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot more on this. I'm sure that the child that did the stabbing, I'm sure he'll get one of those race baiting lawyers. I'm sure he's already got one. I haven't looked into it. We'll get Ben Crump down there. And then he'll have a press conference with the churchless reverend. Crazy. Let me check something else out. Check this out. Breaking news. A lockdown is in place at Luke Air Force Base due to reported active shooter incident. Everyone is urged to avoid the area. I know some people are putting out Personnel on base have been directed to shelter in place, follow guidance from the first responders, law enforcement, and emergency personnel are actively responsive. A lot of times this happens. See if we get anything new on here. Give me one second. I'm still waiting for Trump. I got this over here on my other screen. Give me 1 second. Making all kind of great things.
There was no evidence of any active shooter being present on base. That is despite those initial reports from Luke Air Force Base at this hour. We've been getting some perspective from anchors here, Craig McKee and Kaylee O'Kelly as well.
Obviously,
that's what I thought it would be. No evidence of an active shooter right now, but I'm sure somebody's going to put on their title, active shooter.
Normal day, just inspecting vehicles as they come in.
We'll just see what they say here for a second.
Through this particular gate at this time. Again, the military and the force protectors there are going to go through their normal protocol. Whatever that response is, whatever that initial call was, as I said earlier, you see something, say something. So they are going to respond as if this is completely a legitimate call until they can prove otherwise. So they're going to go through and cordon off an area and then start systematically searching through alleyways and roadways and buildings and securing each and every building. And all the folks who have been told to shelter in place, they received that alert on base. They've received that text message alert and some of the other platforms that the military uses to receive those notifications. The shelter in place goes in place. They lock the doors, just like we've covered in school shootings. All that training kicks in. Everyone seals down everything. Right. That's exactly what you're supposed to do.
So it seems like it's a big nothing burger. We see that a lot with, we've covered like 6 or 7 of those on Air Force bases over the last year where shots fired.
Any shots fired and that they had been clearing the buildings.
But not the case. Let's see. So some of the Epstein files will be released today, according to the Trump administration, but not all of them. And so the left is using that like it's some type of cover up. Listen,
just so everybody appreciates, President Trump has said
release. So in these files, are we going to learn any new information about Epstein and people that may have been associated with him?
So yes. So today is and I expect that we're going to release several 100,000 documents today, and those documents will come in all different forms, photographs and other materials associated with all of the investigations into Mr. Epstein. And just so everybody appreciates, President Trump has said for years that he wants full transparency and he wants the Department of Justice to release everything that we can with respect to this investigation and cases. And we saw during the Biden administration radio silence from the very Democrats that are screaming from congressional steps today that we haven't done enough. But guess what? President Trump signed that law 30 days ago, and we have been working tirelessly since that day to make sure that we get every single document that we have within the Department of Justice, review it and get it to the American public.
So how many people are ready for the Democrats to release a photo that have been released for 10 years, and then they'll put little black dots in the effort of transparency? They'll hide things and then put a photo of Trump there with people around him trying to insinuate that these are underage girls when they're actually Hawaiian Tropic models like they did last week. This is just a distraction from the Democrats. They had 4 years. They didn't call. They didn't stand up on the House floor. They didn't demand them to be released. It's only because, again, what are they at? 18% approval rating, I think CNN said yesterday, under 20. Just crazy, crazy times. Let me see if the White House is live over here. Not yet. All right. So we got that. And again, most of these files, and we've said it before, here's what Democrats are going to say in a couple weeks. When the files first come out and they get them and there's pictures of Trump or somebody on the Republican Party, they're gonna post them everywhere. And they're going to say they didn't release enough. Well, pretty much everything they're releasing, we either know about or have had some type of detail in. This was all public stuff at one point. We didn't get to hear all the private transcripts and everything because they needed to protect the victims. But all this is from the court case in Florida, right? So you're not going to see anything new. How about this? Last night when we were covering live the press conferences, and a big shout out. I want to give a big shout out to, I don't know if she's in here right now. Last night when I was going to bed, we got a Bonnie K said, "Thank you for staying late for the press conference." Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it with a $20 donation. And that's a blessing. Thank you. And you're also entered into our raffle. If you guys haven't got in, we are going to do the raffle today and the next show. So you guys only got a couple hours to get in. I would get in now. This cross right here, custom handmade cross from our good friend Miguelito. We are picking, today's Friday. We are picking the winner today. And you'll be getting that shipped out probably Monday. And want to say thank you for everybody that entered. We are 100% viewer funded. Every time you guys do a $10 donation up until we do the raffle, you get one entry for a chance to win that cross. So if you do $30, that's 3 entries. We have Venmo at Oreo Josh, PayPal at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $ Oreo Army. And if you do mobile or online banking, we have a Zelle address, which is purepatriot559@yahoo.com. And then, as always, right down there, our Give Send Go if you want to get in that way. How about this? Judge Hannah, one that's aiding and abetting criminal illegal aliens, found guilty by a jury for trying to help a criminal migrant escape, which is felony obstruction. She faces up to 5 years in prison. Take a look at this right here, if you guys remember.
In the hallway and walks towards Circuit Court Judge Hannah Dugan's courtroom. Along the way, he passes plainclothes federal agents who are sitting on a bench. They are there to detain him. After Flores Ruiz walks by, the agents turn to each other and appear to confirm his identity amongst themselves. But a few moments later, Judge Dugan and another judge approach the agents sitting on the bench. A criminal complaint against Dugan later said she was alerted to their presence by a court official. That complaint says during this interaction, Dugan and the agents disagreed over the type of warrant they had to arrest Flores Ruiz. According to the complaint, Dugan ordered the agents to go to the chief judge's office. Video shows her pointing them through a double door. She then turns back to speak with other agents further down the hall and orders them through the doors as well. Shortly after that, with the agents gone from the hallway, Eduardo Flores Ruiz and his attorney exit into the hallway through a different door. As they walk down the hall toward the elevators, they pass another plainclothes federal agent. Neither they nor Judge Dugan seem to have noticed at the time. That agent motions to another to follow Flores Ruiz. Security video shows Flores Ruiz exiting through a basement exit. Upstairs on the 6th floor, the other agents have left the chief judge's office and worked their way downstairs. Flores Ruiz left the building onto 9th Street. Videos of the street shows the agents catching up to him. Flores Ruiz runs across 10th Street while trying to get away, but the agents catch him and arrest him.
Justice, a jury of her peers, buddy. I think that's great news. We don't see justice like this very often, and I hope this sends a message. She won't be sitting on that bench anymore. She won't be deciding court cases and using her bias to privilege illegal aliens who came into this country illegally. So she got charged for, she got convicted by a jury at a federal trial for obstructing federal agents. They seen the evidence. It even came out that she even said to somebody else in the courtroom, I don't know if it was the other judge, I don't remember right now, but her words were, "I'll take the heat for this," thinking she was above the law, Guess what, folks? Nobody's above the law, and this is great news. What's this one? This was another article on it, just to give you guys an idea.
For the first time, we're seeing Judge Hannah Dugan outside her courtroom April 18th wearing her black robes, appearing to confront several federal agents there to arrest Eduardo Flores Ruiz, a Milwaukee man and Mexican national charged locally with 3 counts of domestic battery. This video, released by Milwaukee County through an open records request, is part of the evidence in the case against Judge Dugan, who's charged with obstructing a federal investigation, concealing Flores Ruiz, allowing him to leave her courtroom by a different door after sending the agents to speak to the chief judge. Flores Ruiz, dressed in black with his attorney.
Man. I mean, this is mob style stuff. Like, this is what they used to do, and I'm sure they still do for people that are on those judges, those corrupt judges that are on the payroll. Now, we're going to get into some, excuse me. And Old Uncle Bill gifted a subscription. Thank you, Old Uncle Bill. And I see Karen donated too. Thank you guys for donating those subscriptions. It helps us out tremendously here at the Oreo Express, and we appreciate you. Thank you for being on our main platform, which is Rumble. We appreciate you. Just some Clown World stuff. We've covered Candace Owens. I guess she claimed her platform was God's platform as she interviewed a guy named Mitch. Mitch, who says he's 95% sure he saw Erica Kirk at Fort, one of the military base. I don't want to say it wrong, but Fort Huaca military base in Arizona the night before Charlie Kirk's assassination, folks. Accompanied by Brian Harpel, who was in charge of TPUSA security. I mean, this isn't getting, this is just insane. Take a look. I hate to put you through it, but this is just insane. Take a listen.
I am not, this is not my platform, okay? I genuinely believe this is God's platform.
That reminds me of those pedophile pastors with the trans flag outside the church. That's what that reminds me of when she says that. I'm just being real to you. Just laughable.
I am a conduit. I don't know why I have a platform, and I don't know.
Well, you have a platform because organizations like TPUSA, that's why.
I don't know why I have a platform. I genuinely life. I really don't. I don't know why these things happen to you or why they happen to me, but I know that my prayer was very intentional that night that I received that email. So I'm going to allow the internet to hear your testimony.
So as I'm checking in and then I go to my room and then come back out, he was joined and joined by a female that you can definitely tell when, how do you put it, when people are well off and they're dressing down. She was definitely dressing down, and it was very well kept. The one thing I noticed about the woman that really stuck out to me was her eyes. And I have an ex that has caused me a lot of problems. So when I see someone with striking blue eyes like that, they stick out. And I was on the phone with my wife here, and I even told her about it. I said, "Oh, geez, somebody has those kind of eyes." It creeped me out a little bit, you know, and it had nothing to do with that person. Just, you know, life is what it is. I blew it off until there was, you know, some other pictures that came up with other people.
What other people? Other pictures?
If you want me to say, there's a picture of Erica Kirk with a ponytail, and from her past. That person matches who I saw at Fort Huachuca in the lobby the night before. and she was with that man in the lobby, and that man, he was present at that meeting the
Okay.
next morning.
If you
So
had to put it at a percentage that you saw that the girl in the ponytail matches the description of Erica Kirk, what percentage would you put that at?
those are really rare eyes. That's 95 to 99%.
Case solved, guys. Case solved. Great job, Candace. Great job. You got a guy that doesn't sound very convincing, that just sounds like he wants to be on the air, saying that he's seen somebody, didn't know it was Erica, but later on he's seen a picture of Erica with a ponytail and said, that's her. Holy cow, what is this world coming to? Oh, man. I don't know, folks. I don't know. She claims to be this great investigator, that she has all these details, but didn't even understand how an investigation works with an affidavit. Erica Kirk had to let her know on Wednesday how affidavits work, and how when prosecutors and investigators are working on a case, they just don't blow the case wide open and say, okay, you guys pick it apart before we go to court. What an embarrassment. It is an absolute embarrassment. And again, I feel for the employees over at Turning Point, Erica Kirk and her children, because there is so many numbnuts. Said a nice word there, numbnuts, that follow Erica. Follow Candace, and will believe eats every word out of her mouth like somehow she's telling the truth. And it is that she wants to destroy Turning Point. Bottom line, we've played all the nasty things she said, how you could tell the jealousy that now that Erica is the CEO running Turning Point, all these other things. You don't deserve all these things that have nothing to do with Charlie's murder, but just have to do with a scorned woman. So I thought that was interesting. Holy cow, it's just nuts. Let me go over here and check White House. There we go. Nothing going on at the White House. They are still waiting for that press conference from Trump. And we'll go that. But yeah, the evidence. I seen somebody the night before at a military installation. How about this? Portland, Oregon. We talk about fraud all the time. Two illegal foreign national migrants have been federally indicted in Portland, Oregon, for allegedly running a fraud scheme to steal over $160,000 in SNAP benefits. We're seeing this everywhere, especially in blue states. Two Romanian nationals unlawfully residing in the United States made their initial appearance yesterday after being indicted by a federal grand jury for their role in conspiracy to steal more than $160,000 of benefits from low-income and food-insecure individuals and families. Alexander Telescu and Aramis Manolia have been charged in a 26-count indictment with conspiracy to defraud the United States, access device fraud, possession, production, and trafficking of device-making equipment, and aggravated identity theft. A lot of people in this country that are illegal, that shouldn't be in this country, that are defrauding you, the taxpayers. Crazy. How about this? Trump must have been watching the show. President Trump truthed this out. The only reason our unemployment ticked up to 4.5% is because we are reducing the government workforce by numbers that have never been seen before. 100% of our new jobs are in the private sector. I could reduce unemployment to 2% overnight just by hiring people into the federal government, even though those jobs are not necessary. I wish the fake news would report the 4.5% correctly. What I am doing is the only way to make America great again. And we talk about that. We were actually, I don't know if you guys were, but I think we were all cheering for really high unemployment numbers. I'd like to see it go up to 7%. if that means we're cutting the federal workforce in half, right? I mean, let's just drop another $1 million next month. Not such a bad thing there. How about this? We covered the Brown University, who's also tied to the murder of the professor in Massachusetts. And last night we heard some questions about them asking about the local tipster. And then some things came out. Well, it happens to be the guy that confronted the shooter was a homeless guy who was living on the campus. He's a former Brown student and happened to be living on the campus and was questioning this guy why he was on the campus. Take a listen. I think we got a couple different clips here.
All talked yesterday about the second person. We saw pictures of the second person that was seen in the proximity of the suspect outside of Brown University. Apparently, the police have interviewed this person. What do you know?
Yeah, Jesse, thank you for having me on this evening. So from what I've heard from my law enforcement officials here this evening is that this person that turns out to be a man, we didn't know if the gender was a male or a woman, turns out to be a man, apparently made contact with the shooter 2 hours before the shooting itself happened. Apparently, according to what I'm hearing from my law enforcement sources here on the ground, is that this suspect, the shooting suspect, was casing out the area for nearly 2 weeks. And there was a confrontation with this person that has, according to my law enforcement officials, is being identified as a homeless person who was living in or around that Brown University building that we're all talking about at Barris and Holly, graduated from Brown University at 2010, had a confrontation with the shooter before the shooting itself happened. And when you look at that video that the FBI put out the other day from that home, that is allegedly what the shooter is running away from.
Wait. You're saying, Tom, that the second person was a homeless Brown graduate that was living at Brown in that building?
Yeah. According to my sources, that's what they're saying, yes.
Okay. So someone graduated from Brown and is now homeless, and Brown's letting them live in one of their buildings? Was it the same building that was shot up?
Yes, it was. And the details that I'm getting are very sparse at this time. You know, a lot of this information is coming in rapidly fast. But according to the law enforcement sources that I talked to earlier today, this homeless person is considered to be a super genius, apparently. Graduated from Brown University in 2010. I don't know how he became homeless, but he's the person that we see in the picture that was released yesterday by police. And apparently came in contact with the shooter 2 hours before the shooting happened itself. And apparently the shooter was going to commit the act at the time, but after the confrontation, the shooter left and eventually ended up coming back.
Yeah, because there was some sort of, not a struggle, but there was running. Someone was running away. Was the suspect running away from the...
So it kind of adds up. Remember last night, there was a lot of questions that weren't necessarily answered when asking about the tipster. And they wouldn't say he was homeless or that he lived on or near the campus as a homeless guy. But one thing that was it the Attorney General? It might have been the Attorney General that said he was very well-spoken, very intelligent person. And this person said, they're saying the same thing here. And I think I got one other statement here from a different one.
2 hours before the shooting, inside the Barris and Holly opened by a homeless man who goes by John. Now, investigators say that he's a former Brown University student who grew suspicious of the gunman when he locked eyes with him in the bathroom just 2 hours before the shooting inside the Barris and Holly building. The gunman, his name is Claudio Neves Valente. Now, John, pictured here, is the man police were looking to speak to because of how close he got to that gunman. John said he followed Neves Valente out of the building before the shooting and played a game game of cat and mouse in the neighborhood. Surveillance video shows Neves Valente running away from John. At one point, he stood just feet away from the gunman and questioned why he was circling the block. The gunman repeatedly responded, quote, "Why are you harassing me?" When police released images of the suspect after the shooting, John wrote an anonymous Reddit post describing seeing the gunman unlock a parked gray Nissan sedan with Florida plates he thought could be a rental. 3 days after the shooting, John anonymously called the police tip line and flagged his own Reddit post. On Wednesday, John walked up to police, revealed that he was the man police were looking for, that he was close to the gunman, and that the Reddit post came from him. Police used license plate readers to track the gray Nissan to an Alamo car rental center in Boston. They pulled surveillance images showing Neves Valente, and they traced him to a storage facility in Salem, New Hampshire, where he was found dead last night. Now, Neves Valente was spotted in the Brown University building on November 28th. That's 2 weeks before the shooting. Last night, I asked investigators how it could be that a homeless man and not police noticed a suspicious person in that time.
Remember this?
Well, the Providence Police is obviously not going to patrol Barris and Holly. That's a question frankly, for Brown and their police department.
Why would a civilian observe that to be suspicious? It's a great point. And I like the fact that you're mentioning that and bringing that up. That's what we should all be doing, right? And it's just personality. Some people are more interested in finding out what others are doing. In this particular case, this person decided that he wanted to, and I'm glad he did.
Man, that's just kind of crazy. I mean, this guy followed him around for blocks. And probably almost foiled the whole thing, right? That is wild. That is wild how that came together. Let me see what we got over here. Man, the White House better hurry up, or we're not going to be able to cover it today, or at least in this show. Let's see.
Discover your new Nissan right now at Nissan of Clover.
Let me do something. Skip that. Have the volume up right there so when it does pop on, we'll know. I don't know if you guys have heard this. I've been hearing about it for a week now. Australia, France, and Germany have now canceled their New Year's Eve celebrations. This is what happens when you have, quote, immigrant invasions. It's all been canceled because the French government can no longer keep its citizens safe from radical Islamic terrorism.
Eastern backgrounds. Authorities arrested 5 men suspected of
a beautiful and spectacular event, and it has all been canceled because the French government can no longer keep its own people safe from potential radical Islamic terrorists that they have welcomed into their country. Think about that. France has let in so many Middle East and North African migrants that they can no longer assemble in crowds.
All right, here we go.
We're watching one of the most beautiful countries and cultures in the world.
I just talked to him.
Here we go.
Alex Grab.
Why isn't the White House live? Let's see here. We'll get this going. They're not ready yet. I'm waiting for the White House feed. Come on, White House. Keep refreshing. Keep refreshing. We'll get this going. Trump is about ready to speak right now. They're just getting set up.
Check, check, check. 1, 2. Last audio checks. Everybody got it? Good. Audio. Good. Cuts. You guys got audio? Good. Okay.
Give me 1 second. Getting ready to go. Just waiting for it to click on. have to use that feed. Nothing's going on yet. I prefer the White House. You don't get stupid commercials. They're getting set up. Got to hit that live button. Hit that live button.
Have you all scoot in, and then whenever he arrives, if you can just split the fireplace like you were before.
X is acting up today. I'm telling you, something's going on with X right now because it's hard to even find. The whole For You page is just a repeat of the same stuff over and over. And again, if you're watching on YouTube or Rumble, we also accept Rumble rants and super chats to help us out. We appreciate you guys. We thank you for being in the chat room, and we thank you that those help us out tremendously. So we're almost there, guys. We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 people waiting on. I can't wait to hear which prescriptions it is. Hopefully it's one that I use. Selfish. It's all about me. And while we're waiting, don't forget the raffle on the cross right here, guys. We're going to be doing this today, so you only got a little while to get in. We'll be doing the raffle in the next live stream. I don't know if it'll be a full live stream or it'll just be a raffle, but if you want to get in, every $10 donation gets you one entry. Every $10 Rumble rant gets you one entry. Every super chat gets you one entry. So I can't believe people super chat the big news organizations. Like CNN gets super chats. It's crazy. Like they're already paid off by Big Pharma. They don't need them. A lot of triggered people in the comments right now, though, on Associated Press's stream. They have oranges. Orange man bad. There's a lot of people saying that they think by 2027 that there will be dividend checks to American citizens of about $2,000 under the Trump administration. I really want our national debt to be paid down. That's what I'm interested in. I will forego my $2,000 so that the national debt shrinks. I mean, imagine shrinking the national debt for the first time ever and how the left would try to spin that. Oh, we're live. Let me close this one. Okay, we're getting ready to go. Put this up here. Put me in the corner. And then I'll remove my ugly face once it starts. So we are almost ready to rock and roll. We are almost there. Again, sounds like President Trump is going to be making an announcement on lowering prescription drugs. He's probably made an agreement with some more manufacturers on saving you and me, the American people, some money, and I'm loving it. I'm just checking out. Got the Freedom shirt on for the gym today. We are just waiting. Oh, I think I let you guys know this last night, but it wasn't cheap, unfortunately. Whew, but we got the heater fixed. The only time we use the heater in this house is just to warm it up in the morning. But makes it bearable now. Usually we use the fireplace to keep the house warm, but we're getting some crazy weather here. We got a lot of rain coming in, but hopefully praying for a lot of rain, just praying for safety at the same time. LA forgiven. Hey, what's up? How are you? Deadweiler says lower the price for Ozempic. They did. It went from like $1,380 to $135 or something like that. Going to work at Target. I'm so far from 50. I probably won't even make it to 50. I'm reading your comments right here. Yes, check out our showcase on TikTok, guys. If you're going to buy some stuff, I think some of the stuff you'll still get Christmas delivery. I think Christmas delivery, most places are done now. Unless it's maybe Amazon or a couple special one. I know, speaking of that, I hope it doesn't start right now, but we can do a quick promo right here. If we got that steak place. No, RW asked me to do, to start advertising for the blue pill. I don't know why. I guess Kevin's complaining, but we might have to do a little ad read on a blue pill. Here we go. We'll do this one really quick. Get ready, fight fans. On December 20th, the biggest crossover boxing event of the year drops live from Dubai only on Rumble Premium. It's Misfits Mania, the fight before Christmas headliner by Andrew Tate stepping into the ring against heavyweight champion Chase Damore for Misfits boxing heavyweight title. This isn't just another bout. It's a global event with a stacked undercard and all-out action you can't miss. Tune in exclusively on Rumble Premium and witness this drama, power, and one of the most talked about clashes of the year. Mark your calendar, December 20th, because Misfits Mania is about to deliver fireworks. Sign up today. You know what? I might know what I'm doing. That's tomorrow. That's tomorrow, folks. And guess what? I am, and most of you got Rumble Premium. It might be something fun to watch. Speaking of fun to watch, I wonder if Rumble got back to me. Let's see. So we're just waiting right now. Any moment, they're all set up. And hopefully someone in there was very generous and brought me the premium steaks for my Christmas Eve delivery. We did an ad read yesterday, and I could do a box of steaks. I'll be forever grateful. Oh, So we are just waiting here. Let me pull up another screen really quick. I want to see what it looks like. Make sure. Oh, Caden's home. He got off early from school today. Can hear him in the background. Nope, I got it up on another screen just to make sure they didn't hit the live button on this, and there is still 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 people waiting on Trump. You know, he probably can't make it in there. He's probably got to hide his walker, folks. Man, and this goes on too much longer. The next show will have to be pushed off an hour. Again, more overtime. Nancy H., thank you so much for the Zelle. You were just $2 away from getting in. That was overnight. We got the $8 donation from Nancy Hall, and it was $2 more, Nancy, and you get into the raffle. Maybe somebody will drop $2 for her. Thank you, Nancy. I appreciate that. I love the surprise ones, like when you wake up in the morning. That one was done at 1:15, by the way. Or you know what I'll do? I probably got a super chat for $1.99 on there. I'll just add that. I don't want to see somebody not get it for $2. Then if she wins, I'm sure RW be, and that was rigged. Nope, old Uncle Bill, I can't do anything with gifted subs. I don't even want people to talk about gifted subs when it comes, because then I've had emails. Oh man, it's so hard to track gifted subs. I got to do it on actual money that I can put towards and allocate, because I try to keep track of it. And again, I wish Rumble would adjust that. So if you do subs on YouTube, I can see which program you did it on, when, what live stream it was. I can't do any of that with but I'm gonna make it work out. I'm a nice guy. I'm gonna make it work out. I don't want, listen, guys, I don't want RW showing up at my house barefoot. So I'm gonna make sure it works out. So we're just waiting right now. They are all up there. If you say, well, what's he doing? Just tuned in. This guy's a nut job. I am a nut job, but I am just waiting for Trump to announce. Sounds like an announcement on prescription drugs. And I'm sure he's going to take questions and answers. Now I'll go. Don't even worry about it, Bill. I'll use one of the $1.99 super chats. But thank you. Don't even worry about it. I'm gonna throw the other $2 in from a super chat. Put your guys' live chat up here. You guys don't have to do that. I haven't got any notifications yet, but I'm sure one will come through. And big shout out to Krista R for a donation. Thank you, Krista R. We cannot do it without our warriors, our Oreo Army warriors. I am working on a special treat for some folks. Oh, Kaylee, $2 to cover, and Jalen for $2 to cover. Thank you. We are working on some special shirts for some of you all. And it's not even close to being worked out yet. I want to tell you that right now. I got a lot of things, but just to give you an idea, I think I have it up here still. We're working on, this will not be the design. This will not be what it looks like, but it'll give you an idea. something else up. I've been thinking of that term warriors when they did that warrior dividend, and you guys that have supported me for a long time. I'm working on a mod shirt right now for the mods. And I know I've talked about that, but I'm farther than ever before. I've actually spent some time from 1 a.m. to 1:30 a.m. working on it. What is this? And this was just playing around. It's changed a little bit. This was going to be for one of the mod ones, and it will look better, trust me. And it doesn't look right because it's not on a shirt, and we're moving some stuff around. But it should be when it's said and done. And then we're also going to try to do something. I'm working on a deal where those people that have kept us going for a while, that are normal. Really, guys, there's about, oh, hold on.
Great honor. These are among the greatest executives anywhere in the world, so it's an honor to have them with us. I think they'll be very happy. It's a great honor. What we have to say. I thought I'd start. These are among the greatest executives anywhere in the world, so it's an honor to have them, with us. And Secretary of Commerce and myself and some others have been working on it for quite a while. And Howard, how much have we sold in a few days?
$1.3 billion worth in a matter of a couple of days.
That's essentially it's the green card on steroids, and it's a pathway, and it's been an amazing thing. And as you know, millions of people pour into our country from the border, and not anymore. They don't know. Nobody comes in actually anymore. But under the Biden administration, 25 million people came in, and they came from prisons and mental institutions, and they were drug dealers, and all sorts of people came in that shouldn't be here. They came from the jails all over Venezuela, all over the world, the Congo. And now when they come in, they have to pay $1 million. And we've had a tremendous surge, and you're going to be happier than anybody because when you go to Harvard and the Wharton School of Finance and all of the great schools, and you want to hire somebody, and then you find out that, I'm sorry, they can't stay in our country for more than 24 hours. They graduate from the top schools. These people want to hire them. Now you're able to buy a card, and you're able to keep people in the country. They can't keep people in the country, and they go to Canada. They go to other countries. A lot of times they go to Canada, even though they work for the companies behind me. So now you're able to buy, the companies are able to buy the card and use it for people coming in to our country so they can stay in our country instead of being immediately shipped out after graduating. They graduate number one in their class at the best school, and they want to go to work for Johnson & Johnson, as an example, who's not here today, who will be here next week. They're well represented here. But they want to go to work for one of the great companies behind me, and you learn they can't do that because they're shipped out of the country. They're not shipped out anymore. So your company will pay a little bit, but that's okay. You'll be able to get them. So I just wanted to, it's called the Gold Card, the Trump Gold Card. Quite a beautiful thing. And you've taken in just a few days, you've taken in over $1.5 billion. That goes all toward reducing debt, goes into the Treasury of the United States. And
yes,
I thought I'd do this before we start on Most Favored Nations. I want to read this because I would have said it the other night, but I was not allotted too much time, actually. You had a couple of brand new shows opening, and I understand that. But I do want to say, and some people say, oh, you shouldn't say it. It sounds negative. To me, I think it sounds positive. The only reason our unemployment tucked up and went up to 4.5%, which it went up to 4.5%, which is quite a low number, but still, is because we are reducing the government workforce by numbers that have never been seen before. In other words, government jobs are way down. And as you know, we don't need 10 people to fill one job, which is what we had in government in many cases. So the government workforce by numbers that have never been seen before, has been reduced very substantially and will continue to be reduced. 100% of our new jobs are in the private sector. So this is for the last number of months. Think of that, 100%. Are you shocked to hear that? That's the way to make America great again, when you think, right? It's the only way. 100% of new jobs are in the private sector. And I could reduce unemployment to 2%, 1%, or practically zero by just hiring people into the federal government, even though those jobs are not necessary, which is what we had before. We had millions and millions of people having jobs that they never even showed up. So I wish that the media would report that the 4.5% is an amazing number. And again, if they don't report it, I guess maybe I'll just let some people go into the federal workforce. It'll look really wonderful. And what we're doing is the only way you can do it to make a country great. You can't have the government jobs. You have to have the private sector jobs. And these are among the biggest hires of private sector. So we have reduced the federal workforce by tremendous hundreds of thousands of people. And that reflects in unemployment, but that will be used up very quickly. And we've 100% of the new jobs, which, by the way, it's a record-setting number of jobs, too, is in the private sector. And I think that'll get even stronger when these buildings being built all over the country, of which they're building some, too. But AI and auto plants and everything else, they're being built all over the country. When that happens, your numbers will be even better. But I would like you to report it the way it is. We don't do the federal workforce jobs. We're reducing that very substantially. I'm thrilled to be joined by the leaders of 9 of the world's largest pharmaceutical manufacturers, all very big names, celebrities in their own right, very, very powerful people. And they head some of the most admired companies anywhere in the world. It's a great group. To announce that they've agreed to offer many of their flagship drugs, really all of their flagship drugs, at heavily discounted, most favored nations prices. In other words, whatever the drug sells for over the world, in the world, whatever the lowest number is, if it's Germany, if it's in UK, anywhere, we will match that price. Right now, sometimes it's 10 times higher. We've been laughed at and scoffed at for years. In fact, I was going to do it in my first term, but unfortunately, with the advent of COVID, as you would say, it was not, I don't think it was a very good time to be hitting up Spain, Italy, France, but now we're doing it. So the hardest thing to do was going to be to get a country to do it, because we would have a pill in New York that was for sale for $130, and you could buy it in Germany and France and Spain and someplace. Anyways, they set their own prices for $10. So we'd pay 10 or 13 times more, pay 5 times more, pay all different prices. Now, whatever the lowest price is. Now, the pharmaceutical companies were difficult, but they also love our country. They knew it was unfair. But and they were great. I appreciate it. But the bigger problem was going to be the countries. How are you going to get the countries to do it? And we told them, if you don't do it, we're going to have to use tariffs, and we're going to charge you a 10% tariff, which is far more money than the money we're talking about. And they immediately agreed to do it. So we have all the foreign countries agreeing to do it. If we didn't have the use of tariffs, we would never be able to do this. But we used tariff, and they said, is it a threat? I said, yes, it is a threat. And they said, we will do it. And they dropped the price. So what's happening, because the world is bigger than the United States in terms of people, that same pill would go from $10 to $20 for them, which is an increase, but it wouldn't go to, midway. But it would go from $10 to $20. Ours would go from $130 to $20. So we dropped way down. They went up a little bit. And everyone knows it's the way it is. They, for years, would just say, no. As medicine got more expensive for us, it would say, they said, nope, you can't sell it in this country. let the United States pay. And we had other presidents, all of them said, okay, we'll pay. So we were subsidizing the entire world. We're not doing it anymore. This is the biggest thing having to do with drugs in the history of the purchase of drugs. And I don't think the maybe press will treat it as a story. This is the biggest front page story that you'll ever see. This is a huge bearing too on the healthcare, because a big part of healthcare is drugs, pharmaceuticals, right, Oz? And this will have a tremendous impact on the reduction of healthcare. The biggest impact is going to be that the money should be paid not to the insurance companies, directly to the people, and the people will buy their own health care. So we're going to be working that. The problem is that the Democrats are very much controlled by the insurance companies that make all that money, but we're not going to let that happen. Starting next year, American drug prices will come down fast and furious, and will soon be among the lowest in the developed world. So in other words, whatever the lowest price for a certain drug, of which these companies make much of it, whatever the lowest price is, that price will come down to that price. So we will get the lowest price anywhere in the world. If they're lower in England than they are in Germany, we take the England price. As of today, 14 out of 17 largest pharmaceutical companies have now agreed. 14 out of 17. Oh, those three they're in deep trouble. But actually, they've agreed, because I think those three companies are coming in at a different time next week. So they've agreed. Johnson & Johnson is one of them, right?
After the holidays.
Why? They couldn't do it faster?
No, we're going to be talking about Trump RX.
Oh, okay. Trump RX. Trump RX is doing well. As of today, 14 out of the 17 largest pharmaceutical companies, but they've all agreed, have now agreed to drastically lower drug prices for their American patients, for the American people and patients. This represents the greatest victory for patient affordability in the history of American healthcare by far. And every single American will benefit. So this is the biggest thing ever to happen on drug pricing and on healthcare. This will have a tremendous impact on healthcare itself. I want to thank Sanofi CEO Paul Hudson. Paul? Hi, Paul. I hope they have you in some order. I'll be checking.
Alphabetical, yes.
Okay, well, we'll do the best we can. Thank you, Paul. Great company, by the way. Novartis CEO Vas Narasimhan. Thank you very much, Vas. Great job. Genentech CEO Ashley Megaragri. Where are you, Ashley? How are you? Hi. Thank you very much. Great companies. Boehringer Ingelheim President John Michael Bors. John Michael, thank you very much. Gilead CEO Dan O'Day. Dan? Thank you, Dan. Great job. That's a good company. Bristol Myers Squibb Executive Vice President Carrie Gallman. Carrie? Thank you, John. Thank you very much. GSK CEO Emma Wormsley. Emma? Thank you very much, Emma. Great job. Merck CEO Rob Davis. Great company. Thank you. Great company. How long have you been CEO?
Almost 5 years.
Very good. You're doing a good job. And Amgen Executive Vice President and CFO Peter Griffith. Peter? Thank you, Peter. Thank you very much. You okay? Fake news. We want you to be healthy. Are you all right? The camera's not okay, but she's okay. That's more important. We have good medicine for you. If you need some medicine, one of them can take good care of it. We're also joined by Secretaries Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Howard Lutnick, ambassador, and really some incredible ambassadors, Administrator of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, Dr. Mehmet Oz, and the FDA Commissioner, Marty McCary. They're doing a phenomenal job. Thank you. Thank you, fellas. Good job. For decades, Americans have been forced to pay the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs by far, not just a little bit. We were like a whipping post, the United States. And it's just been 4% of the world's population. We have 4% of the world's population, and consumers pay only 13% of all prescription drugs, yet pharmaceutical companies make 75% of their profits. Think of that. So we have 4% of the population, 13% of prescription drugs, and yet the people behind me, who are wonderful people, make 75% of their profits from the American customer. So they understood that better than anybody, that we have to do something. That's why I signed an executive order instructing my administration to do everything in its power to slash prescription drug prices for Americans while getting other countries to pay more. And we don't want more. We want this fair. We want to pay the same thing. They used to blame it, remember, on research and development. And I said, well, research and development for everybody. And everybody understood it. As a result, the United Kingdom's National Health Service agreed to pay the fair share for prescription drugs for the first time in 26 years. And we expect other countries in Europe will do the same. And if they don't, we're going to put tariffs on them and we'll get the same amount of money. Plus, we'll take a nice return on the money. We signed historic agreements with Pfizer, Eli Lilly, AstraZeneca, Novo Nordisk, and EMD, Serrano, to reduce prices by 300, 400, 500, 600, and even 700%, and sometimes even more than that. I remember when I had a news conference in my first term, I was the first president that reduced prices from the beginning of my term to a year, from January to December, 0.25%. And I thought it was the greatest thing because it's the first one in 28 years. Now we're talking about numbers that are so incredible. 0.25%. Think of that. I was proud of it because it hadn't happened in 28 where drug prices went down. Well, now you're going to see numbers that nobody would believe possible. Think of that. 500, 600, 700, 800%. Today we're building on these accomplishments. The companies assembled in this room have agreed to offer all of their drugs to Medicaid and most favored nations pricing. You're going to get most favored nations pricing, meaning they're going to pay our country the lowest price paid anywhere in the world. And they will list their most popular drugs on TrumpRx.gov. TrumpRx.gov. And I didn't name it that. Somebody named it that. And I guess they assumed that was, did you name it, Oz, or Bobby name it?
We all named it together.
Okay, well, I'm honored to have the name. And so far that's turned out because the numbers are so incredible. It's an honor. And you're going to get massive discounts to all consumers. So massive discounts will be not even offered. It's just going to be a fact. All consumers will get massive discounts. That's TrumpRx.gov. Every new drug produced by these companies in the future will permanently be offered to American patients at most favored nation prices. You know, people used to talk about that for years, but nobody ever did anything about it. No other president did. And it wasn't easy, but it worked out great. And I'm so proud of the people behind me. As an example of the price reductions we have secured through these new agreements, Santa Fe will cut the cost of its blood thinner Plavix from $750 to less than $16. Wow. Where's Santa Fe? Where are you? What? That's incredible, huh? Could have gone to $17, maybe. That's amazing. And you're going to do tremendous business. You're going to do much more business. So that's coming from $750. Think of that, $750. And that's the number one blood thinner. I don't want to know about that. I take an aspirin. To less than $16. Think of that. Bristol Myers Squibb, a great company, both great companies, will cut the price of HIV medication, Raytaz, from nearly $1,500, $1,500 to $217. And it will cut the cost of hepatitis B medication, Baraclude, from $1,400 to $413. Gilead will cut the hepatitis C medication Epclusa from nearly $25,000 to less than $2,500. And all prices are like that because we're bringing them down to the world's lowest price, everything. And these people really are pioneers. What they're doing is so great. And in the end, they're going to do much more business, and I think it's going to even out for them as a company. The countries will have to pay more, but even for them, because of the fact that the world is quite a bit bigger, it won't be very severe, I hope. I also want to thank these companies and their incredible executives for their generous contribution to American national security, because it's really what it is. It's, to a large extent, national security in addition. You can't continue to pay 13, 14 times more than other countries and think you're going to have security. Collectively, they will invest over $150 billion to build up domestic pharmaceutical manufacturing in America. They're going to be, because of tariffs, they're coming in. And I think because of the love of our country, and maybe because of the November 5th election, but because of tariffs, they're going to be coming in. They're building already. Just about all of them have started. They're building their plants in all states all over the country, and they're building incredible pharmaceutical plants. We're going to have close to 100% of our pharmaceuticals in a very short period of time made in the USA. As part of these agreements, Merck will also donate 3.5 tons of antibacterials to be placed in America's strategic reserve. Thank you very much. GSX will donate over 200 pounds of ingredients to make rescue inhalers, which is a big deal, and Bristol Myers Squibb will donate 6.5 tons of blood thinners. We appreciate it. Such amazing companies. Every president for a generation has promised to reduce drug prices, but they were talking about a little bit like that. I am the only one of them to ever even think in terms of favored nations, and that's what this is. Favored nations. It's called most favored nation. We are now a most favored nation. I want to thank the leaders in the room, and I also want to thank the leaders of all of the countries that had to pay a little more so that we were treated fairly. I really do. I want to thank the leaders of countries. And they knew the alternative was not much of an alternative, because if they didn't do it, we were going to charge them tariffs, and the tariffs would have been much more severe than what they did. But they did do it as soon as they realized about the tariffs. Then they did it very easily. No, they're very good people. Let's start with Amgen's Executive Vice President, who I already introduced, and I introduced the people here. So I'd like to ask Bobby and Oz to say a few words. And also, I'd like to ask if anybody would like to speak on behalf of your company, or just say how great this country is doing. And you're all building tremendous facilities now in the United States instead of other countries that we all know about. But if you'd like to say something. So, Oz, do you want to start? And Bobby?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you very much. Mr. President, he gets taller with time here. Mr. President, each of the 9 CEOs will speak very briefly about what they have done, because it is a patriotic effort. This is affordability in action. We talk about it in abstract, but this is not an abstract concept. This is a very concrete, tangible, personal reality, because we've got moms with sick children who cannot afford their medications. Working families cannot make ends meet. Seniors on fixed income. We have 80 million people who have to pay more than $100 a month for their prescriptions. They just can't keep up. So this is a hardcore approach to this, driven by a bold leader who's taking bold action. With that bold action, we've now created a standard for the industry. The 9 leaders behind us run the biggest pharmaceutical companies in the world. They're joining 5 other companies that have been through this White House process over the last 2 months. I want to make sure you appreciate that it doesn't happen with just the people in the room. They're wonderful individuals: Chris Klump, Inma Hernandez, John Brooks, Theo Merkel, Corey, Heidi. A lot of folks work their tails off to make this happen, and that's why we've gotten to the finish line. The prices that President Trump left to the next administration on pharmaceuticals have gone up 25% until the president took office. We are reversing that trend, and making sure that Americans can afford to get the life-saving solutions. Because if these brilliant innovators create solutions to cancer and hypertension, hepatitis, and a bunch of other viruses, illnesses that have been lethal throughout human history, but you can't afford them, then we're not treating you fairly. And that's why what the president has done is so critically important. He mentioned quickly the amount of money that they've contributed towards our strategic stockpile and to building in this country. But fundamentally, the health of the American people will benefit because this president took bold action. And from my personal position, I couldn't do anything I do without Secretary Kennedy, who just does not take no for an answer and will call me even more than the president does to make sure things happen right. Mr. Secretary. Even more.
That's not nice. I don't think that's true. I think we got a lot of calls from the president, and at one point in this negotiation, we both stopped answering our phones late at night because we couldn't take it anymore. But I want to thank you, Mr. President, for doing this. President Trump, when he was up here a moment ago, talked about how historic this is and how every one of the news outlets in here ought to have World War III size headlines about this. And I was reminded about how astonishing this achievement is. A couple of days ago, when one of my sons, 29 years old, very, very left-wing Democrat, and disagrees with a lot of the policies of this administration, he called me and he said, "Dad, I want to tell you how proud I am about this. This is the best achievement that could happen to our country." This is something Bernie Sanders has been clamoring for 25 years. Elizabeth Warren has been clamoring for. Joe Biden promised the American people. President Obama, President Clinton all promised to do this for the American people. All of them expressed their outrage, their indignation that we are paying 1/10 in some cases the price of drugs that they're selling in Europe. We developed them here. We manufactured some of them in New Jersey. We were paying $1,300 for a drug manufactured in New Jersey. The same drug manufactured in the same plant was being sold for $88 in London. And everybody recognized how unfair this was. We were paying for all the innovation in this country. And yet, the rest of the world was free riding on it. And President Trump told me and Dr. Oz at the beginning of this term, this is what I want you to do. And he leaned on us. I think both of us were very skeptical at that point that it could be done. But I would say this is a miracle. And I'm very grateful to all the CEOs who saw the sense in this, who understood the injustice and the unsustainability of the system, and who put public health, and particularly the public health of Americans, ahead of some of their other priorities. And all of them came to the table, and President Trump asked us to do three things. One, to deliver the lowest prices in the world and make this affordable for Americans. Number two, to do it in a way that we would not hurt innovation, that we would keep America as the incubator and the dominating force in innovation around the world. And three, to bring drug manufacturing home to this country. I can tell you by the end of this term, 95% of the drugs, we will have MFN. In other words, Americans will be paying the lowest price in the world, or 95% of the drugs. You talk about affordability, people are talking about affordability. Nobody has done anything for affordability greater than this. So I want to thank you, President Trump, for your leadership, for your vision, and for your relentless harassment of us to make sure this all got done. And I really want to just thank all of the CEOs, all these companies for coming to the table in good faith, working out a very, very pragmatic agreement that allows them to continue to do the innovation that is going to save lives and alleviate suffering around the world, and do it in a way that is more fair to the American people. Thank you.
So this is an example of what President Trump does. It's the entire administration, the whole government working together. Bobby and I met at the beginning of the administration of how we could work together to bring drug prices down as the president instructed and bring manufacturing home. So they've said they're going to have 95% of the drugs be at the lowest price in the world. And when we walked in and the president walked in, we were making about 16% of our drugs were being made in America, right? And we are having hundreds, the people behind us are committed hundreds of billions of dollars to bring their manufacturing here and bring their research here. And that employs Americans and keeps our drugs produced safely. You want to know when you take that drug is made in America, overseen by the FDA, and it is safe. So the president not only is driving prices down, he's doing a 1-2 punch of bringing production here. And the third thing he's doing is when you take that drug, you know it was made in America, protected by Americans, and it's safe. And I can't be more proud. I think this is the most impressive thing I've ever seen, because none of you, and maybe even none of us, thought this was possible. Only President Trump, he knew it, he drove it, and he has delivered it here today. And I can't be more proud to be standing next to him, because this is delivering for America.
Thank you. We'll start with Amgen. It is alphabetical. If you'd like to say something, feel free to do that. They're all going to say something short, so go ahead. Well, you go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President.
Please.
Mr. President.
To the podium.
To the podium. Here we go. Well, I'm going to move it back up, get taller again. Mr. President, thank you for the opportunity to work with you to improve the affordability of medicines for American patients. Amgen recently launched Amgen Now, a direct-to-patient option for Repatha that cuts out PBM middlemen and significantly improves affordability for people who are uninsured, facing high out-of-pocket costs, or paying on their own. Repatha will also soon be added to TrumpRx.com. A U.S.-based pioneer for more than 4 decades, we've invested more than $40 billion in U.S. research and manufacturing since 2018, supported by pro-innovation policies that you've championed. Thank you again, Mr. President. We look forward to continuing to work together to deliver meaningful benefits and innovation for U.S. patients.
Thank you, Mr. President. Jean-Michel Boers from Boehringer Ingelheim. It's a true honor to be here for an agreement that we believe will make a true difference for American patients. For 140 years, Boehringer Ingelheim, a family-owned company, has been committed to improving health and outcomes to save lives of patients. With today's agreement, we believe that we have actually struck the delicate balance that there is to protect America's leadership in research and innovation, and at the same time ensure that patients pay a fair price for their medicines. So from rare diseases in oncology or pulmonary fibrosis, where we do research into chronic diseases, diabetes, chronic kidney disease, obesity maybe in the future, I will go quick. We will continue to work for the American patients. We are onshoring manufacturing to the U.S. to very rapidly, within the time of this administration, have the majority of our products produced in the U.S. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. Bristol Myers Squibb is an American company that for more than 6,500 years has been protecting and extending American lives. And today I'll make 2 very brief announcements. One, we are very proud to announce that we will provide Eliquis, our #1 prescribed medicine, to Medicaid for free. We're also answering the administration's calls, as the president said, to shore up the national medicine reserves by donating more than 6.5 tons of Eliquis. These actions build on BMS's commitment to invest $40 billion in the U.S. in research and development and manufacturing. And these investments reflect our enduring commitment to work with the administration to improve patient lives. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President, for shining a light on the importance of our innovation and getting all countries to pay for this innovation. I'm proud to represent Genentech, America's first biotech company. We are offering our flu medicine, which is very important this year, given the severity of the flu, Xofluza, for $50 direct to patients, and that's a 70% price reduction, and that also will be available on TrumpRx. We're also very proud of our $50 billion investment in U.S. manufacturing and new research labs. Our new facility in North Carolina will bring 11,000 jobs to America. These are important steps forward for Americans and also for patients. Thank you very much.
I saw your rendering. It's beautiful what you're doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President, to you and the administration. I think this objective of achieving the commitment to affordability and future innovation is extraordinary. And let me just say that the company I represent, Gilead Sciences, the scientists reach for cures every day. In fact, they've come up with medicines that have cured both certain forms of hepatitis and also certain forms of blood cancer. And we just recently launched a new medicine that's only given twice a year to prevent HIV. And we're working with Secretary Kennedy and his entire team, as well as the State Department, as a part of your ex-US strategy to support ending the epidemic really during your term. And so we look forward to working with you on that. I've never been more optimistic about the innovation that exists across these companies and the impact this can have on America's health and economy. Thank you very much. Yeah, it literally prevents HIV almost 100% given twice a year. And so the America First State Department strategy, we've partnered with them, and we're also partnering with Secretary Kennedy and his team. Thank you very much.
GSK cares deeply about improving the affordability of medicines, which is why today we're announcing for the 40 million Americans who live with asthma or COPD, we're going to be significantly lowering the cost of the medicines they rely on to breathe more easily every day. We're going to be going direct on 8 of our core medicines with deep discounts, and we're investing in American health security by donating the ingredients that go into rescue inhalers like this one so that people can access them when they need them. This triple win is on top of our commitment to invest $30 billion in American manufacturing, American research, American technology, and American talent. And all of this to do the right thing for American patients, whether that's John in North Carolina, who says he can now visit with his granddaughters without worrying whether will have to struggle for breath, or Marsha in Kentucky, who says if her asthma inhaler is cheaper, she can properly celebrate with her family this holidays. Mr. President, thank you so much for your ambition for American patients and for the partnership of all of your teams so we get ahead of disease together.
Thank you very much. Mr. President, as the others have said, I just want to say thank you for your leadership. I reflect on your goal of driving affordability and access to Americans, but equally getting prices up outside the United States, and we're 100% supportive of your actions. As many of the colleagues have talked about, I represent Merck, and we also are looking to what we can do on TrumpRx.gov. In addition to bringing in our diabetes drugs, one of the things I just wanted to highlight, we have a novel oral cardiovascular drug, which has an opportunity to meaningfully lower LDL and really still go after what is the leading cause of death in the United States, which is cardiovascular disease, kills 1 million people in the United States annually. And thanks to TrumpRx.com, you will not only be able to get this pill and have an easy-to-take pill, but it'll be easy to get and it'll be affordable. So I appreciate your leadership and look forward to continuing to partner with you. Thank you.
Great company. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, my name is Vas Narasimhan, CEO of Novartis. Novartis is a 250-year-old company, and today we're the global leader in bringing advanced technologies to patients in the United States around the world, technologies like radioligand therapies and cell and gene therapies. What I want to highlight to you is we're bringing the manufacturing of these technologies to the United States now. We've committed to build 9 new facilities. 7 of them we already have a groundbreaking for. Dr. Makary was with me in North Carolina. We were opening up 4 new plants. Our plan is to scale manufacturing here and ensure all our critical medicines, including these most advanced technologies, are made here in the United States for U.S. patients.
So first of all, thank you, Mr. President. I think you've convened on an extremely important subject and made more progress than perhaps anybody ever thought was frankly possible. For Sanofi, this is another day to reaffirm our commitment to patients. our unwavering support to trying to do the right thing to help patients get better outcomes. But simply, affordability has been at the heart of that for a very long time. Having concluded this contract with the President and the administration, we find ourselves able, as a joint effort, to go further than we ever thought was possible. And that's kudos to you and for what you have done. Improving affordability and preserving innovation and rewarding innovation is a very difficult balance to take. I think we feel the negotiations and the conversations have had the patient at the center throughout the entire time, as difficult as it may have been on occasions. I think what many can learn from the way this was handled, put simply, is that when you bring industry and you bring government together with the spirit of doing the right thing for patients, it is almost limitless what can be achieved. So on behalf of Sanofi, I'd like to thank you, Mr. President, and the team for what has been simply an incredible amount of progress. Thank you.
So as I watch, these are the greatest business leaders, and they're beyond that. Many are doctors. They ended up running the biggest businesses in the country. But you've done so much, and you made it a lot easier than we thought it would be. You were just, you understood to do the right thing. And as I was watching, and I know all of them, not personally, a couple of them personally, but I know them all through reading lots of business magazines and other magazines and newspapers. These are highly respected people. And I said to myself, look at what they've done. They've done something that, and as you said, something that you never thought was possible to get done. Most people thought for the United States to have favored nations where we have the lowest drug price in the world is unthinkable. And I said to myself, we have a thing called the Unaffordable Care Act. It's unaffordable because the insurance companies make so much money, and the insurance companies totally control the Democrats. And I said to myself, standing watching these great leaders, and we have 4 other leaders coming in, Johnson & Johnson and 4 other very big companies, actually, very great companies. They've all agreed, and they'll be coming in next week, and we appreciate them too. But they've agreed to the same thing, lowest price anywhere in the world. I said, I think that the insurance companies, we should have a meeting and we should talk to them. Because I would say that maybe with one talk, they would be willing to cut their prices by 50, 60, or 70%. They've made a fortune. They've had stock prices that have gone up 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and even 18. Think of this. They went up 1,800%. One of them went up numbers that nobody's ever seen before. A nice return, not a 2%, an 1,800% return. One went up more than that. Therefore, there's a lot of fat that can be cut. And I'd like to announce here, this is just an idea that I had standing here, watching these great leaders saying that we're going to have the lowest prices anywhere in the world, something that nobody would have thought possible. And they're going to come out great. But also donating incredible different medications, medications that are world-famous medications that one or another of them make, and donating them in some cases for free or very, very low prices. And I said, I'll bet you if I called a meeting of the insurance companies, the companies that are involved with healthcare costs, I would be willing to bet, I think, that they would reduce their prices very, very substantially. We could have fair healthcare in the country. Now, my initial thought, and this is what I want to do as of right now, this is the alternative, is that all of the billions and billions, ultimately trillions and trillions of dollars that's paid to these companies, we're going to pay directly to the people. But there's another way of doing it, and that's getting the insurance companies to ease up and to cut their pricing way, way down and stay part of the system. So I'm going to call a meeting. It could be in Florida this coming week, or it could be back in the White House the first week, not the second or third week. I'm going to call a meeting of the big insurance companies that have gotten so rich by receiving money, and really much, far, far more money than they're entitled to. And I have a feeling maybe if they would act like these incredible, brilliant, responsible citizens behind me, people that love our country and they love the world. I mean, frankly, these are international companies for the most part. I'm going to call a meeting of the insurance companies. I'm going to see if they get their price down, to put it very bluntly. And I think that is a very big statement. And what happened here is the biggest statement of all, because nobody thought a thing like this was possible. And I think based on that, I won't even take questions today, because there's no way I can take questions that are anywhere comparable to what you just witnessed. You just witnessed drug prices that will go down at levels never thought even possible, Marty, right? Never thought even possible. And I think that the second biggest part of this meeting is going to be the fact that I'm going to call in the insurance companies that are making so much money, and they have to make less, a lot less. And maybe we can have reasonable health care without having to cut them out and let it all go awry. So we're going to be calling a meeting. It'll be either in Florida or it'll be here the first week. And I'd prefer not talking and asking questions, only for the reason that this is such a big announcement, meaning what these people have said and what the other four companies are going to say, which is exactly the same thing, that I really don't want to soil it up by asking questions, even questions that are very fair questions that I'd love to answer. So I think we have to just stop right here. I really appreciate the fact that these companies came here. These, again, a lot of the media is not aware, not really cognizant of the people standing behind me. These are the biggest executives in the world. And what they're doing today is monumental. And I want to stand it on that. And I'll see you later if you'd like. But I don't want to be asking questions having to do with anything else. I do want you to remember what I said about the 4.5%. We took 100% of the new workers was in the private sector, and we've cut tremendous numbers of government jobs. And that's why, if you look at our numbers, they're so good. Also, more than, I don't know if you've read this, came out a week ago, more than 50% of our trade deficit was cut. We cut it more than 50% in a period of a few months. Nobody thought any of these things were possible. Thank you very much, everybody.
So there you have it. I think the most interesting thing, obviously, we want lower prescription drugs. Trump promised that. He ran on that. He's delivering on that. But the fact that we've been hearing about a lot about the healthcare debacle and how Democrats just want to give billions to insurance companies so their stock prices and their CEOs keep getting paid more. I think it's going to be excellent to have, the CEO and the heads of Blue Cross, Blue Shield, Aetna, and all these other insurance agencies sitting across the table from Trump and his people saying you could get nothing, or you lower this down. You lower the burden to the taxpayers, and maybe we can work a deal. I think that strategic move, because Democrats didn't ask to say, they're after these big and greedy corporations, and then they're like, but we want to give billions to those big and greedy corporations. So good press conference, great stuff. We're going to be live again here, probably going to be a little late because it's already 12. If you guys want to get in the next show, we are raffling this off right here. We are 100% viewer funded, guys. Your donations, this is a beautiful handmade cross. Your donations is what keeps us on the air, keeps the lights going. If you guys want a chance, every $10 donation gets you one entry. If you do $30, that's 3 entries. We're going to be doing it live during the next show. So you're getting close to your last chance to enter. All you have to do, you can enter by donating at Venmo at OreoJosh, PayPal at OreoJosh, Cash App, $OreoArmy, GiveSendGo.com/Oreo2024. And as always, we have our Zelle address. If you do mobile or online banking, you can head over and enter our Zelle address, which is purepatriot559@yahoo.com. All that will come up in the screen here shortly. Check it out, and thank you guys so much. We'll see you in a couple hours.
Well, hop aboard the Oreo Express, where true we don't second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud. Shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking the truth.